Bernie Sanders hasn't yet to duck a question. That's number one. He's got great ideas. He wants to end campaign finance. What more? I mean, what more can you say? The man's got it all.
I think he really speaks to like young people like me that are going through school right now and are worried about the fact that when we get out of college, we're going to be kind of piled in debt and without many job opportunities. So that's one thing that I'm really excited about by his particular campaign.
I think just the central message of his campaign, this idea that the political system that we have right now isn't working in the interest of ordinary people. There's vast amounts of wealth being generated by our economy, and it's getting pooled in this top 1 or 0.1%, Bernie calls this billionaire class. And ordinary people like me face, mountains of student debt, unaffordable rents. It's almost impossible for us to get ahead. I've done everything right my whole life, worked hard, gone to school, gotten education, and now I have, a whole bunch of student debt, and my rent is so expensive that it eats up almost my entire paycheck. And I know that, we've had supposedly this recovery from the recession, but ordinary people haven't felt it at all. And Bernie is calling that out. He's putting that front and center, and he is trying to not only, restructure our economy in a way where all that wealth can actually be shared more equitably amongst people, but he wants to do it by building a mass movement of ordinary people, not just saying, oh, just rely on these few benevolent people in power, they'll fix it all for you. I don't think that works. Bernie wants to build a movement, and that's what's exciting to me.
Well, the thing I love about Bernie is he's the only, candidate who has been consistent and honest throughout, his whole career. He's been a huge civil rights leader. He went on the March on Washington. He cares about the people. He and his donors are the people. Like the average donation is $30, and he cares about low-income communities. That wasn't debated about in the Republican debate 2 days ago. And he also cares about environmental issues. He proposed a carbon tax, which is what I'm collecting signatures for. And he talks about health, universal health care, and everybody has a right to universal health care, I believe, and what they do in Europe is great. And he also talks about college tuition, how it should be free, and everybody should have a right to education. And in America, we're not really given the socioeconomic rights because it's not really granted to us in the Bill of Rights. But I believe those are rights that are just as important as the civil and political rights that we have.
Everything about Bernie's campaign excites me. I agree with him on every single issue that he's raised and on every single point that he makes.
Okay, so what excites me about Bernie Sanders' campaign is he's putting the blame for where the problems in our society belongs, and that's on the billionaire class. That's on the super rich. That's on the people making money, like the Waltons, like the Koch brothers, off of the backs of our labor. Of what should rightfully be in the hands of working people ends up in the hands of those super billionaires, and they use it to influence our political system, and we need a political system from the bottom up, influenced by working people.
Okay, and motivates you?
It's the fact that he just wants equality for everyone, and that I haven't heard most of the Republican candidates talking about anything that has to do with anything that I care about, and I really am big for equal rights for everyone, and college being less expensive, and people living livable wages, and I don't know, he has all of that, and I'm getting really excited about it.
All right.
That's simple. Bernie Sanders can't be bought, so he's a candidate that truly reflects the needs and the will of the people, rather than high-priced lobbyists and special interests.
I'll back Hillary.
Okay, now would it be on those same principles or just because of the party?
I think she'll make a good president, but no, she would not be a Bernie Sanders.
Okay.
I think she's considerably more corporate.
Okay.
But I think she would still be an okay president.
I don't really consider any other candidate, and I guess Hillary, if it comes to that, but I'm not super excited about what she represents.
The other candidate that I am excited about is Jill Stein, and actually that's who I voted for in 2012. I think none of the other candidates that are running in the Democratic or Republican Party are courageous enough to actually point to the fact that we have a class division in this society, that there is a class that is hoarding all the wealth and that is fundamentally, controls our political system. I actually disagreed with Bernie's decision to run as a Democrat because I don't think that party as a whole, I think they are part of the problem. I think they take money from all the same billionaires and corporations and that they don't actually fight for what working people need. Jill Stein is running, as an independent candidate. She doesn't take any money from big corporations, and she's trying to build an alternative grassroots party that represents working people.
If, the Democratic nominee is someone else, I'll obviously vote for the Democratic candidate over the Republican one. But, Bernie Sanders, I feel like is the only, the closest thing. George O'Malley is all right. Hillary Clinton's, I don't really like her. But Bernie Sanders is pretty much the main one I'm going to go for.
If they espoused all of his principles, then yes, I would vote for somebody else.
So
I just
far,
haven't heard anybody.
Okay. So far the answer is no. But,
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, Jill Stein from the Green Party, which is who I voted for in 2012.
No.
Okay.
I mean, like Hillary Clinton, like not really.
Okay.
If Bernie Sanders isn't available, I would probably choose Bernie Sanders.
Right in. Okay.